Andy Johnson, we are looking at the effects of poverty on teaching and learning. This first one kind of gives an overview of poverty. Know that chronic exposure to poverty, and that's the overriding theme here, causes the brain to change physically in detrimental ways that are not helpful for the individual. The nature of poverty, first of all, let's define our terms. Condition where people's basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter are not being met. And if you have ever experienced this condition, know that it affects the mind, the body, and the soul, however you choose to define that. But it is a debilitating condition. How common is it? If you're in my class, I won't hold you accountable for this, but no, get a sense of what it is. 56 are above low income. 44% are at or below low income. There are 72 million children under the age of 18, 2013 census. 44%, 31.8, live in low income families. 22%, that's 15, almost 16 million, live in poverty, below the federal poverty level, which is $23,000 a year. 2008% of children living in poverty, poor families in Minnesota and Wisconsin. You can see it there, 13, 15%. And the actual numbers, 166,000 living in poverty in Minnesota, 192 in Wisconsin. In Blue Earth County, where we're at here in Mankato, nearly 1 in 5 kids are poor. Children below poverty level, state, Mankato. High school graduates, you can see it there. National Center for Children in Poverty, again, 16 million children in the United States. That's 22% of all children live in poverty. And most of these have parents who work. Unfortunately, they have low wages, unstable employment. And this leaves the family struggling when you're trying just to survive, to make the ends meet, to buy groceries, to pay the rent. You don't have a lot of time to talk with your children, to take them to the zoo, to the library, or to make sure that they have done their homework. Those are some of the conditions. And again, you can see the rise in poverty. This is Minnesota from 2000 to 2010. That's percentages. You can see where they live in Minnesota, Pine County. Here we are in Blue Earth County. The darker ones are the higher incidences or rates of poverty. And here we are in Wisconsin. The red, the higher rates of poverty up north, and then in Dane County. Childhood poverty in Minnesota by year, again, and we see it going up. Teacher, we can't see. Poverty gets in the way of learning. And in the next video, we will be looking at this. But after 30 years of corporate educational reform and a decade of testing, nothing's changed. Poverty matters. How do we expect to address learning if we do not address poverty? One of the most essential research-based strategies is called breakfast.